Hey everybody, you're watching A Physio Named Jonah. That's this guy. Where today we're diving into a new segment that I like to call What Is It and Why Should I Care? In this segment, I'll be telling you what something is and then telling you why you should care about it.
Wait, what?
Just like last year around this time, I am filming this video on my birthday, so we're still figuring out that whole party situation. Up first for this new series is the Gluteus Medius, and I think you might have a good idea where we're going to start here. The gluteus medius is a muscle. It's also referred to as the glute med for short, and that's how I'll be referring to it from here on out in this video. The complicated names that we use for body parts in medicine all come from Latin, because who doesn't speak Latin in 2021? So using the root Latin meanings, you can get a pretty good idea of what that body part does. Gluteus comes from the Latin word for buttock or rump, and medius is in reference to the middle. When viewed from the side, the gluteus medius is the middle muscle of the buttock or rump muscle group. The glute med runs from the gluteal surface of the ilium and attaches its way down onto the superior portion of the greater trochanter of the femur. What that actually means is that it starts from the side of the pelvis right here and attaches to the top of the thigh bone like so. Muscles make us move, and they accomplish this by contracting or pulling on the bones that they attach to. If we look at this muscle then, when it contracts, it's going to pull the leg to the side or away from the body. This movement is referred to as abduction and just means that the body part is being pulled away from the middle of the body. The glute med is the primary mover of hip abduction, meaning that it is the most important muscle when it comes to pulling the femur or thigh bone away from the center line of the body. So that's step one. The gluteus medius or glute med is a muscle of the hip that attaches on the side and causes hip abduction or pulls the leg away from the center of the body. But I know what you're thinking. Because if your hips hurt, it's probably the glute med's fault. Look, obviously I'm not being 100% serious there, but I am trying to get across the fact that the glute med is involved in a lot of the going-ons around the hip. As I mentioned earlier, the glute med causes hip abduction, or movement of the leg away from the center of the body. However, unless you're spending your free time doing a lot of jumping jacks, gotta love that Monday, this isn't a movement that happens on a regular basis. But when the foot is planted on the ground, the glute med acts to prevent knee valgus, or the motion where your knees cave towards one another in the center of your body. Think about it and this makes sense. The muscle on the side of the hip that causes your leg to move to the side is also going to prevent your knees from falling towards the middle and towards one another. This keeps the leg straight when you're standing or bearing weight on that one leg. This makes the glute med really important in walking. So if walking on 2 feet is something that you do on a regular basis, you should care about this muscle. When we walk, we spend time on one foot as we swing the opposite leg through. As we're standing on one leg, the glute med acts to keep us from falling over towards the leg that's swinging through. This keeps our center of mass over top of our standing leg, which essentially keeps us from falling. If people have a weak glute med, then we start to see something that's called Trendelenburg gait. In Trendelenburg gait, we see the standing leg's hip popping out to the side because the muscle that's meant to prevent the opposite hip from falling isn't strong enough to hold it up. This results in a very sassy looking walk. When this happens, especially with a lot of repetition from walking throughout the day, it can lead to a lot of different aches and pains. In fact, a lot of pain presentations that we see in rehab can often be traced back to a weak glute med. These can include, but are not limited to, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain. Did I miss any joints in the leg? This muscle plays an even bigger role when we start to look at athletics. Every time we spend time on one foot, think running, jumping, kicking, gliding, our glute med should be firing to keep our body balanced over top of that one leg. Now, if we think about a stronger or faster movement that's happening in athletics, this is going to require a stronger glute med contraction to keep yourself stable. This means that having strong and effective glute med muscles is a great way to avoid injuries like ACL tears or ankle injuries. And if we think about it, this makes sense. More stable leg, less knees caving towards the center, makes it a lot less likely that injuries are going to happen. This is a muscle that's often overlooked in training because we spend a lot of time training forwards and backwards motions and not as much time working on the side to side. I mean, unless you're the jumping jacks guy. Still here, still jumping, still going. On top of that, training side-to-side motions isn't always enough when it comes to training the glute med. If someone's glute med is already weak and inactive, they may compensate with other muscles instead of actually using this one when training side to side. This means that training the glute med is not as simple as just doing side lunges. You have to know how to turn that muscle on and use it during your side-to-side exercises. If you'd be interested in me going through some of the common glute med exercises out there, as well as some compensations to avoid, let me know in the comments section below, and I would be more than happy to tackle that as a future video. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate your interest in the channel. I love talking about this stuff. There's a reason I'm filming this on my birthday, so the fact that I get to share it with viewers like you who are interested is really, really cool, so thank you. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to the channel or leaving a thumbs up down below. Either way, it helps my channel and I very much appreciate your guys' support. Most importantly though guys, as always, move your body, have a laugh today, and I will see you at the next video. We can get a good idea of what this body thing does. Body thing? What?